now joined by the Deputy Minister of Transport for Botswana. There was a joint session for the Botswana line. What's the status?
The development of the corridors is still ongoing. We have the TKR, Trans-Kalahari Railway, that links us to Namibia. The TA has been appointed. We are looking at now the feasibility study being completed and the procurement of the developer. And we also have the Mmamabula Lephalale. That one also, the feasibility study is done. The challenge now with this one is there is no bilateral agreement.
So when you say there's no bilateral agreement, is there no bilateral agreement between yourselves and South Africa, or?
Between Botswana and South Africa. So, but we are ironing those ones out. As the operators, Transnet and Botswana Railways, there's been some sort of cooperation, and it's one of the low-hanging fruits. We also have Mosetse, Kazungula, Livingstone. Also the TA will be appointed, and then the feasibility study also will be completed. So I think we have the other one. I'm struggling to pronounce this name. Ponta Techobanine. Yeah, it's more of a tongue twister for me. But all member states have signed on the MOU for rehabilitation. This is Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Botswana. We are looking for funding now, for the feasibility study funding from the DFIs.
Have you gone directly to the DFIs, or have you put that out to tender for funding?
We went directly.
Directly.
Yeah.
So that's quite a big project in itself. I call it the Ponta Techobanine. It's been on the cards, similar to the other projects, for a very long time, but will have quite a significant impact, in my view.
The good thing with all these lines is Botswana is a transit hub. It's geographically centered in SADC. So for Namibia to trade with Mozambique or Zimbabwe, the freight or the bulk commodities will pass through our country. So it's our responsibility to take advantage of that and to make sure that we develop these railway lines as quickly as possible. But also the responsibility now lies with our neighboring countries. We are land-linked as opposed to the narrative of being landlocked. So I think now it's imperative that we work together, like we start now establishing these bilateral agreements. The good, if we don't do that, like what I was telling you about the Mmamabula Lephalale, right now Transnet and Botswana Railways, they've gone ahead and they are far ahead. But at the top, at the executive level, we are, now it looks like we are the ones who are trailing behind, which it should be the other way around. There has to be political willingness.
Your borders, the freight coming in and out, how busy and backlogged is it? Because is your rail performing?
The backlogs are at the ports entries. That is the backlog. I had a gentleman earlier telling me how Russia, Kazakhstan, and China, how the trains take for 10,000 kilometers is 10 days, and it's almost seamless. But for our country, it's almost 30 days. We are underperforming in that regard. We need locomotives. We need rolling stock as well. So it's on the red line, because we are a new administration. So we are trying to, all the state-owned entities from Botswana that are undergoing a revitalization trajectory change. We already have a local market in Botswana. We have Botesh, we transport soda. We recently had a demand from South Africa in terms of coal. If you could get the resources done and get the right governance in place, then it means BRO will be above the waters in no time.
After you've done that, you've got to also then think about the recapitalization, because what is the standard of the track? Do you have enough locomotives? Do you have enough wagons, rolling stock, signalling, level crossings? And then at some point you need to bring a passenger rail back.
We are looking at now rethinking how best we could actually bring it back. And one of the first steps is legislation. We want to open up. I know South Africa did it Some of the SADC countries are following through. The bill is going to be debated or passed in November. We believe that the first quarter of 2026, a whole lot of things will be happening.
And I think with your open access, that then also helps with that regional trade, does it not?
Exactly. Potential rail operators coming through to say, how far are you with this legislation? How far are you in terms of open access? Because we want to participate. We have keen interest in your country.
I assume you don't have your own railway safety kind of regulator or economic transport regulator, so you would probably rely quite heavily on the rail safety regulator that's based here in South Africa. Am I correct?
Yeah. The other interesting thing is we want to have an all-encompassing legislation as well. Introduce our own now in terms of not relying from South Africa. Recently, we discovered 100% pure iron ore. This gives us an opportunity now to say, you know what, if we develop these corridors, now we have 100% ore, then it's a plus for South Africa, and it's a plus for the rest of the African continent. Internal corridors, this time is road, but they will be feeding from these corridors as well. Like the Mosetse Kazungula corridor is not just a freight transit corridor. We are looking, it links the south to the north, the Okavango Delta, the Chobe area. And so there's a huge value chain spectrum that awaits these corridors to be developed. And on a social point, like you said, now we have an opportunity now to introduce passenger rail as well. So I think it's exciting times for Botswana.
So let's just talk about the total logistics.
All the state-owned entities that are undergoing transformative phase right now, from governance, leadership to actually strategies now. We've recently engaged, I don't know if you know them, PEMANDU, Botswana Economic Transformation Program, that is going to inform our National Development Plan 12. The idea is actually now to look holistically as the country. What is it that we need? We are looking at developing an international cargo airport. That is an opportunity as well for us. So exciting things are happening for Botswana. We are looking at revitalizing Air Botswana, for example. Bigger airports, we are looking at dry ports in the Kalahari area that is closer to Namibia as well. So those are very, very exciting projects, and we are hoping that by having open access to rail, we have all the players will be excited to be part of this transformative, or the new Botswana, we call it. So, yeah.
So it will obviously depend on what your national development plan looks like, and it will obviously depend on how the policies and frameworks are put in place to support and encourage that kind of investment. And I think open access will make all the difference.
For me personally, I think it depends on the railway line, honestly speaking. Because rail moves bulk commodities better than any other mode of transport. I think if we could get all the African countries standardize standard tariffs, one-stop border post, or non-stop border post.
For an efficient railway, it should be electric. And in order for it to be electric, you need power. Do you have power?
We do have plans for power. Like I said, we have, for industries to thrive, they need they call it efficient power, which you can get from coal. Next time when you are here, I might tell you that no, we are in the process of developing a nuclear power station. Also, we are commissioning a couple of solar farms around the country. It's going to be an exciting SADC, because I think our success doesn't really rely on us, but it relies on the cooperation of all the countries that are in SADC. So I believe if we could ratify with international treaties, standards, and have standardization, and have the one border post, then SADC will be trading easily and faster and more efficient. So I think it's an exciting times for us. It's just that we need now individual political willingness, because the state-owned entities are on board. So it's up to us leaders to say, let's expedite this process.
To implement the policy.
Because investors are really, really knocking at our doors. By November, we hope that this bill will address safety issues, will address who does what where, below rail, above rail, where does government stops, and all these the constraints are defined.